All right, so yesterday Timberland and Chloe dropped a mixtape called Resurrection, and a lot of us Tim fans are quite happy. Clips, then the teasers leading up to the release, we noticed some sounds, familiar sounds from Timberland that we've been missing for some time, and they're all there on the mixtape from beginning to end. I'm happy that they went this way because there's something about Tim when he does R&B, he does R&B well. And it's been a while since I've heard something like this from him, to be honest. Ever since I think Shock Value 2, he went more mainstream pop. Still his style, but there was a certain, I don't know, lost a little, like a bit of flavor to it, I find. So we haven't heard something like this, I'd say, since maybe like 2004, 2005. But there's a lot of familiar sounds like Missy Elliott's Beat Me 911, Nelly Furtado's Say It Right. And of course, Aaliyah, a lot of people are saying the Aaliyah sound, but that is Tim. That is Timbaland's sound, and that's what his R&B sounds like. Those who aren't familiar with the extent of Timbaland's R&B, it reminds me of like 2003, 2004, where like Kylie Dean, Shelby Norman, I think her name was, or something like that, that was on his Beat Club label. So what I'm noticing in the comments, though, is that a lot of people are pleased. Like majority of his fan base, the core center of it, us old heads, are responding quite well to this. And I hope that this reminds him of what we love about him. So moving forward in his future projects, he taps more into this. Give us mixtapes. I don't give a shit at this point. I think people are a little bit more open to mixtapes and the sounds that you give them rather than it being an album. There's a little bit more of a pressure standard, you know, where people just are a little bit more intense for it. But when you label something, a project, a mixtape, people are a little bit more easy with it. It's like a mind fuck. I don't know. I don't get it. But then also the artists and producers themselves, they do things a little bit differently than they would in an album. You know, they do things a little more creatively, I guess you could say. I feel like that's what they did here. Given that like the last year or so, I saw Chloe producing beats, and I'm like, you know, this is very like Tim-esque. It would be dope for them to collab, and then behold, they collab. And like her music prior to this has been pretty dry. Like I'm just, who the fuck am I? You know, like I'm just some guy on the internet talking shit pretty much. She has like 2 point something million monthly listeners. So obviously people are checking her. But I feel like there was just like this, it's like she was trying to make something and it just wasn't, I don't know, there was an artist inside of her that it just wasn't catching onto. Whereas now, that's what one thing I like about Tim and what he does with artists, he brings out a certain version of them. And I feel like this was it. They meshed really well together. So I'm hoping that, you know, Tim continues this. He continues to dip back into his old sound, because it's missed. It reminded me how much I enjoy his production and how absent it is in our music these days, and probably for a reason. You know, I never probably would have got annoyed of it had we been given it this entire time. But then now that we haven't had it for so long, and in between, he's given us stuff like the joint he did with Nelly Furtado and Justin Timberlake a few years back. It was good, but it was missing that, like, it was missing something. But then this project, it like had everything that we missed. Only it had Candace Nilsson's writing, though. That's the only thing that I would probably choose a little bit differently here. Because her pen game and Tim's beats and his guidance, they meet, they understand each other, they translate into whatever it is that they're trying to do, and they understand, like her pen understands his beats and his direction. And but yeah, so I'm hoping that this does inspire Tim to go kind of backwards a bit, and that's fine. It's fine to go back to the basics of things. I hope that we start getting more projects like Shock Value again, not to that extent, but even like Tim's Bio, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, where we have a number of artists. I don't give a shit for the new artists. I think that's what Tim needs to understand, is that his core fan base that would see him numbers, we're looking for like Tweet, Nicole Ray, Genuine, Missy Elliott, Kylie Dean, Bubba Sparks, Miss Jade. These are the artists that we want to see on his albums at least once more. You know, just give us one more album that includes all these artists and your signature sound that we miss. And I think things would go well. This was a tease and a reminder of just how much we miss like Tim's beats. Yeah, but I hope we get more of it, and maybe one day we can get Missy and Tim on an album together again, because I feel like it's been some time and I think we could use it at this point. You know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time.